Hi, in this video we'll talk more about margins and paddings. So here you can see that I have a div with some content, and here I'm styling it. I have margin 15 pixels, border, and some padding. You can see padding around this text inside. Now you can see margin here at the top, on the left and on the right, but you cannot see it at the bottom. We can only see it in developer tools when we hover over margin. Now let's visualize this bottom margin by adding another element underneath. So here I want to write another element, and I want it to be div with class box. So I can use shortcut. I can just write dot box. Now I hit enter. And here you can see that it created a div with class box and also the closing tag for that div. Okay, let's do it again. So dot, now the name of the class box, and hit enter. And now we don't really see it on the page. We can see it in our HTML, but we don't see it on the page because we can see that it has height of 0. Because there are no elements. Remember that the height of an element is determined by its content. If there is no content, the height will be 0. But another way of going about it is setting the height manually. So here I can select my box and I can give it a height of 20 pixels. 20 pixels. And now let's give it also background color so we can actually see it. Background color, red. Okay, and now we can see this box. And here when we select our content box, we can see that margins are these 15 pixels here, 15 pixels up top, on the left and on the right. Okay, and we can also see that these margins are the same. So the question is, what if I want to give the top, the bottom, left and right different margins? Well, for that, I can just delete this margin value and I can write margin top and let's say give it 20 pixels. Okay, and now we can see that up top we have margin of 20 pixels, but we don't have any margins on left, right, or bottom because we did not set them. So let's set up margin for bottom. Let's write MB. And here I wanted to make 10 pixels. Let's hit enter. And now we can see that we have 10 pixel margin at the bottom. Now let's do the same for left and right. So margin right would be 5 pixels. And margin left would be 30 pixels. Okay, and now we can see that these margins work. At the top we have 20 pixels, on the right we have 5, on the left we have 30, and at the bottom we have 10. Okay, so here we have set individual margins, but this is a lot of text, and in CSS there is a shorter way of doing that. So here we can just write margin, and here we need to write 4 digits, and they will stand for margin top, margin right, bottom, and left. So starting from top and going clockwise. Top, right, bottom, left. Let me write it here. So I would want to create a comment. And here I can write top, right, bottom, and left. Okay, so for top, we have 20 pixels. Let's write 20 pixels. Now for right, we have 5 pixels. For bottom, we set 10 pixels. And for left, we have 30 pixels. So let's write 30 pixels. Okay, now let's remove this. And we can see that nothing has changed. Everything keeps working. So we have 20 pixels at the top, 5 on the right, 10 at the bottom, and 30 on the left. We can do the same thing for paddings, but I want to show you a different way of writing that. Okay, so here I wrote 4 values. I'll show you another option with 2. So here, if I write padding 10 pixels and 20 pixels, here the first value will stand for top and bottom, which is y-axis, and 20 pixels will stand for left and right, which is x-axis. So here we can write vertical and horizontal. Okay, and we can see here that we wrote padding 10, 20, and here we have 10 for top and for bottom, and we have also 20 for left and right. There is also an option with writing 3 values. Let me show you. So let's comment this, and here I want to write padding. So if we're using 3 values, the first value would be for top. So here I want 10 pixels. The second value would be for left and right. So let's say I wanted 20 pixels. And the third value would be for bottom. So here I want 0 pixels. Okay. And here we can see that we have 10 for top, 20 for each side, and then 0 for bottom. Okay, let's do a quick recap. In this video, we have learned how to set up margins for individual sides. We have also learned how to set up margin as a shorthand property, and the same goes for paddings. We can use 4 values for each individual side. We can also use 2 values if we want to specify values for axis, and we can also use 3 values. In the future videos, we'll continue learning HTML and CSS.